Yes, you're rolling now, my love.
Sounds sweet.
So wonderful, lady.
Hi.
Hi. I guess the first question will be, you are.
Hi, I am Faith Kotee, and I am the circumstantial director of You Give Good Love. Unintentional director.
It's very unintentional.
Situational director.
How did you end up with that position?
That's a great question. So I'm sitting right on my bed one day, and I'm like, you know what? Let me get off my ass and let me apply for something. And I see LinkedIn sent me a request, a notification that said, position cinematographer for pilot episode of TV show. And I'm like, this is a long shot, but I'm gonna apply for a cinematographer position for a TV show. And I get an interview. I'm like, oh wow, okay. So, you know, during this interview, I meet him over the phone, I meet Derek over the phone, and we have this amazing conversation, and he sends me the script, which is, you know, normal. As a cinematographer, which is the person that is lighting the camera, you read the script so you know, you can envision, right? So I read the script, and I think because the conversation went so well, I felt comfortable to give my unsolicited opinion on the project.
It was a good opinion.
it was unsolicited. He did not ask. He said, so what'd you think? And usually when people say that, they want to hear, it was good, yeah, it was great, it was a good, yeah. I didn't say that. I gave him 1,000,001 things that he could change, 1,000,001 things that were perfect. And it became this exciting conversation of how you could make this project better. And so, but this is all coming from the person who's supposed to be the cinematographer. And so I end up at the audition, and the first actor walks in, and Zarek introduces himself. Hi, I'm Zarek. I'm the writer of You Give Me Blood. That is Faith. She will be your director. And I genuinely am sitting at the table in the back, and I'm what? But I didn't say that out loud. I just look up, and I'm like, okay. So I go shake hands. I'm like, hey, I'm the director of You Give Good Love. And that's how it happened. No conversation was had, nothing. I didn't even realize until about 2 weeks later that that's how it happened.
I'm interested to know why, outside of just applying, just to see if you would get the job, why did you decide to stick with the project? What intrigued you about the project?
That's a really good question. Something I have always been able to recognize is a win or lose situation. And I immediately recognized after reading the first version of this script that this was not a win or lose situation. This was a win-win situation. Because it was a good enough script that having it on my resume and in my reel would be admirable. And it was also a good enough script that if it were to be sold, it had the potential of being sold to a big subscription or a big channel, website, whatever. So it was like either I get to have this on my reel and that's it, or I get to have this on my reel and I directed a Netflix TV show. And that's what it was for me. It was a win-win situation. And so, besides the fact that it was an amazing story and the energy was pure and it was a chance to, you know, be creative again, there was no lose in sticking with this project. There was no loss. And that's, I think, why I stayed. It was a long week, but there was no real loss in sticking with the project, and I think that's why I stayed.
I think one of the things that I recognized really quickly is that that you understood character development. And so, as far as like your style for directing this project, which, by the way, was your first directing job.
Ever, yeah.
um,
Yes.
why is character so important to you?
So yes, this is my first directing job ever. And the reason I wanted to focus on character development is because I acted before. I'm not an actor, not a professional actor in any capacity, but I've acted before, and as someone who's done it before, I understand how necessary it is for me to know about the person I'm pretending to be. If I have no clue who the person I'm pretending to be is, it will be clear to everyone else that I'm pretending. And I didn't like that. So I figured, as a director, the one thing that I'm going to focus on the most is making sure that everyone that we've chosen to play out these parts are going to be invested in getting to know this character from their beginning, from the beginning of their lives to now. And I think that's why I was so focused on it, because for me, for my first directing job, if anything's going to be bad, it's not going to be the acting, because that's going to come back on the director. You know, it's not going to be the acting. If it's the camera, fine. If it's the sound, I can deal with it. But if anything's going to be bad, it's not going to be acting. Is it recording?
Yes, recording. Question. Okay, so this is going to be sort of like my wrap-up question. If there's anything going forward with this project, what do you have? What are your notes or your wants for the cast?
Going forward, my wants for the cast. I want Ed. My wants for the cast, I want them to be as close to each other as possible, close enough to be comfortable yelling at each other, getting angry at each other. Sometimes when you're not close enough to somebody, you're not comfortable showing that side of yourself. And I want them to be so vulnerable with each other that when faced in a situation where I need you to read this bitch in or read into this dude, I need you to tear her apart, real anger. I don't want them to hold back because, well, I don't know them that well, and I don't want them to think I'm an asshole. No, that's not. It's part of the job. You know what I mean? And so I think that's what I want from the cast. In general, it's just I want them to really be comfortable with each other, and I think we were able to kind of achieve a little bit of closeness and a little bit of familial situation with most of them.
Well, thank you, Faith.
Thank you for having me.
It was so nice interviewing you and seeing you. Not that we don't see each other quite often. Late night. I know we haven't had any of our midnight sessions in a while, but those will start up soon again.
Don't worry, we're both gay.
Homosexual.
No, yes, we see each other often, but it's always a pleasure because our conversations are fun, they're real, and it gives me hope to see your art, because it's like, I know your art is going to be fun, or it's going to be real, or it's going to be, you know, and like that's something that is rare, you know, and it's I really appreciate this friendship that we've developed, and I also appreciate the project that I got to be part of.
You're a beautiful girl. Thank you. Wanted to say that in the camera.